Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Mike Prince Show. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. As promised, we always try to go above and beyond the call of duty. Today would be no exception to the rule. We have kept our word, kept our promise. We have with us on the line today Coach Aaron Stevens of Mississippi Valley Delta State baseball program. Coach, how you doing? And welcome to the show.
I am fine, Dr. Prince. How are you doing today?
I'm wonderful, sir. As old Ernie say, it's a great day for two.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, a lot of people are scratching their heads, but this is no surprise to anybody that understands the game of baseball, the art of putting together a program, where Valley State is now currently sitting with an 8-7 conference record, which is number 3 behind Jackson State and Alabama State. But you pulled off what some would say would be a very productive win, not just for this current team, but for the building of your program over Jackson State. Bring us up to speed on how you've been putting this program together for the last 4 years, sir.
Well, it's tough with the spring sports period, because we're what's called a non-revenue sport. So, we have to raise money. We have we're given a budget, but our budget won't get us through the season. So we have to raise money to, help us with equipment, uniforms, travel, all some of the things that, the Power 5 schools, they don't have to worry about stuff like that because that's in there for them already. But we doing stuff like that. We look for kids that are not afraid to work. Of course not in the classroom. We have good student athletes, kids that are not afraid to work on the field, afraid to, we do our fundraising with those guys. We have a home run derby in the fall, and they do, we send out addresses, and we help get money in that way from the kids from people that they know. And that's one of the things that to kind of get them to put their hands into what they're being a part of. The kids here, we have to get kids that, like I say, they're going to take care of the business in the classroom. And if they're guys that's kind of used to the bright lights and all of that, this is not going to be the area for them. Everybody can't play here. Because they get here, it's going to be like, man, it's nothing to do. Well, it's plenty to do, but you have to look for it. It's not going to just be out there like, we're not in a big city like, Jackson State or Alabama State there in Montgomery, or even A&M there in Huntsville. Now, so we have some different things for guys to get into. So we have guys that's going to fit our program that way and can fit our program for the way that we're trying to play ball.
We're talking right now with Coach Aaron Stevens of the Mississippi Valley Delta Devils. You said, hey, it's not a lot to do. That's why you put emphasis on student athlete. You got plenty to do. Go to the class, find your potential wife if you're a baseball player, and keep it steady and go from there.
Sir.
Now, Coach, you made it. You said you got to find the right fit. And I think the challenge is that too many people concentrate, especially when you're a young coach in this business of coaching on a Division I collegiate level. You're so busy at trying to put a team together versus putting a program together.
Yes, sir.
Would you be able to extend and expound on the difference between the two from your perspective?
The way I look at putting a program together, you're putting something together for now and for years down the road. You put a team together for just for the moment. You want to get guys that want to be here, want to graduate, and that's when we get them here. We want them to stay the 4 years. We get junior college guys too, but we try to stay away from having a lot of those guys. We want high school kids. Get them in and see them grow from, that 17 to 18 to that 21, 22-year-old. And they're so different when they leave. To see the looks on the parents' face on senior day and to see how those guys have invested into the program to make it better when they leave than what it was when they got here. So like I said, when you're building a program, that's what you're looking at. for years down the road, not just for the moment.
Now, Coach, how much emphasis do you put on getting fellas that fit your program that might be, and I'm gonna put them in three categories, that need developing, or already developing, or they just came a package deal ready to go? I know that we always want to get those guys that are ready to go, but in the
Yes, sir.
realistic world of FCS baseball, and let's be honest, let's look the elephant in the room, address the elephant in the room. Black college baseball is
Yes,
becoming
sir.
almost like a lost art right now.
Yes, sir.
Back when I played back in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s, you know, guys were available and willing, and you could still get the quality African American ball player. But now the quality African American ball player chooses to go sit on a bench, probably in the third depth of a rotation if they're pitching, or even in the fielding position, rather than to
Right.
come and be a part of a program that they can help turn around.
Yes, sir. It starts when they're way before the high school. I'm gonna go back a little bit. Well, first we're always gonna get kids. We very rarely get kids here that's just all tuned up and ready to go when we get here. Everybody we get have to have some kind of work. Just about all of our guys have the talent, but they may not have enough games under their belt yet. Have been through the extensive practices, because we get guys, they're playing 2 and 3 sports in high school. So when they get here and we're going through fall practice, and they're not even used to doing baseball at that time. So those freshmen, they hit a wall.
Yeah, they complaining that it's too cold, and we gonna be out
it's
here, and this
oh my
weather is
goodness. Yes,
40
sir.
degrees.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
yes, you will.
Yes, sir. So we get them. Probably about at least 90% of the guys we got to have some kind of work. So we'll stumble on one that's ready to go every now and then. I mean, there's just they all need some work, but I mean, there's just ready to go that could play. We'll get one of those every now and then. So we're out there with one, and everybody else will have 2 or 3, or especially pitching wise, they're gonna have the 2 or 3 pitchers and maybe two position guys that's like ready to go. But all of our guys are going to need some work. And I have young coaches. Actually, all of my coaches played here. My assistant coach, this is his 3rd year, and my 2 grad guys, I mean, they just finished playing here last year. So they're seeing the game at a whole nother speed now. When they're playing, everything's 120 miles an hour. Now it's down to 55. It's like they seeing everything, and all the stuff we're going through, we're talking about in practice, and we get to the games. It's like, man, why can't we do this? Why can't we do this? I said, you're still in playing mode right now. You're trying to get them to the coaching side. They're still in play mode. So that is one thing that we have to put the work in with the guys, because they're going to need some work. Now, trying to get back to the other side about what we're talking about, black baseball. It's starting now with the younger kids. We get so much of this travel ball. Kids want to play baseball, and they play until it's like, well, the only time you're gonna get a chance to play some decent baseball, you got to play travel ball now. And you playing travel ball, you're gonna have to pay. And depending on what kind of travel ball you're playing, you're gonna have to pay a lot. So it's like, man, now if parents have 2 or 3 kids trying to play baseball, that's tough. That's real tough. It's tough enough with just one kid. But as they get older, you can get the kids that are around in this area here. Most of them play travel ball up till they're probably about 8th, 9th grade. They get to high school, they're playing high school in the 9th grade, 9th and 10th grade. You look at the teams, like, you start looking at the kids like, I like his actions and everything. It's like, when is he graduating? He's just in the 9th grade, coach. He's in the 9th grade. He's in the 10th grade. Oh man, but the 11th and 12th graders used to be those guys, but they don't play ball anymore at that age, because the travel ball had got so expensive. They have to play almost like rec ball during the summers. And it's not anywhere near what they need to have to be ready to go to the next level. So when they're the 9th and 10th graders, they're the ones that are just coming out of travel ball where they're playing all summer and getting all of those reps. And they look the best on the team then, but then their ceiling they don't reach that height of the ceiling because they don't keep playing ball in the summer like they had been coming up. A lot of kids around here get looked over. Like the coach would be like, "Well, I got a kid, but it's like he needs so much work. I got to get somebody here that can do something right now. We try to, like I said, we try to get the good student athlete, but we don't want to have to put in so much work because, like I said, I don't have, but it's just only 4 of us coaching here. We can only do so much, but we're going to do what we have to do to get our kids ready to play."
We're talking right now with Coach Aaron Stevens of the Mississippi Valley Delta Devils. They're in the number 3 spot right now, the Eastern Division of the Southwestern Athletic Conference with an 8-7 record. Now, Coach, you just covered a lot of ground, and I'm going to throw my little 2 cent in.
Okay.
Select travel ball is good to a degree. I put it in the category of AAU ball where it's a pay-to-play type deal, and I think they're doing more robbing the kids and the families that can afford it.
Right.
I am a huge advocate of putting some type of allegiance with your local little league, local high school programs, and trying to develop players like that, even if there's a way to create a fall program where these guys could play under the tutelage. I don't know how legal that would be with NCAA, but have some fall tournaments perhaps at your local campus, and that way you can build that relationship, build the future of baseball in our communities. Because at one time, and I didn't ask your age, Coach, sometimes I do that on purpose, but if we didn't have anything else, we had a field. And if we didn't have a field, we always created a field. You understand?
Yes, sir.
You know, and so that was one of those games. All we needed was a bat. Everybody used the same bat. There was no specialized bat. You had one ball if you were lucky, and you would have the smallest tot to go and chase the ball when someone hit it too far, and whatever was available for base, if it happened to be a brick at first base, a tire at second base, a piece of stick at third base, and a rug for home plate. But that day is far gone.
You only had one set of gloves. You play the position, the third out, you just leave your glove.
Yeah, you leave. And look, if you happen to be one of those weird old lefties, you learn how to play with the ball on the opposite hand.
Yes, that's it. Yes, sir.
Did I just date myself, Coach?
Yes, sir. It's okay. It's okay. I was in there too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But now, and not knocking anything that these guys are going through, but everything has become so elite and so pampered, if you allow me to put it in that form,
yes, sir.
That some of these ball players have lost an edge when it comes to the approach of the game. And right now, you got 3-4 ball players batting over 300 on your team, and everybody likes to focus on hitting. But I'm an old catcher, Coach, and I've been looking at your earned run average. If I'm not mistaken, I think your team collective earned run average was 6.28. You got a couple of guys holding it down with a 4. And a lot of people don't understand, for collegiate baseball, to have a 4, anything under a 5 earned run average is outstanding. And explain and kind of go through your pitching staff and some of your key players on your squad.
We try to pound a zone. Now we kind of got away at the start of the year. We played some out of conference schools there, and as young as we are, we only had about 4 guys on the team with some Division I experience. I mean, that's everybody. So going into the year, we started out the year at New Mexico State, and they kind of got out there, and the scenery got them, and oh man, it's like, we're playing New Mexico State, and it's like, but you're still playing baseball. So now you're gonna try to be fine with everything and just try to throw away, and all of a sudden we start walking a whole lot of guys early in the year, and we got back into strike one. So our guys started throwing strikes. And then we started doing a heck of a lot better on defense. I don't have a whole lot of guys that with velocity. So we definitely have to be in the strike zone. We're gonna be in the strike zone. They're gonna hit the ball. We have to make the plays. And we start getting better at that. We start giving ourselves a chance to win ball games. I have three starters here. My weekend guys. Dustin Stewart, he's a senior. Zach Euchre is a sophomore, and Nicholas Johnson is a freshman. Nick and Zach are left-handers, and they were doing the high school thing. Not a knock on high school, but the high school thing doesn't work in Division I. So we got them to, man. We went throw strike one. They were thinking about strikeouts, but like I said, we don't have strikeout stuff. We're 80, 82 to 84. So we're gonna strike out some guys, but our ball's gonna get put in play. Now then we have a guy that usually closes out for us, Aaron Barkley. He was our starting catcher. He's the only one on the team with actual velocity. He's probably 87, 88, and like I said, he closes out for us. But my other guys, we getting them to get in the strike zone early. Then you're able to throw off of what you throw in the strike zone. But if we're nipping around early in the count, we're getting a whole lot of 3-2 counts and walking guys, and now you get one hit and they scoring a run. Because you're putting guys on base. But once we got out of that and we started getting that strike in the zone, giving ourselves a chance, those guys start getting better numbers and start going deeper in games for us, and those ERAs start dropping down. DJ is I want to say about 6.7, and Zach he should be somewhere around the same area. Nick he may be a little over 7, and then Barkley he's under 2. Like I said, he's our closer. He only has he may have 14 innings, but he comes in and he's thrown a few games that he didn't close, but it's only just to get some work in for the game. But these other guys, we're looking at trying to get our ERA down some more. We got a few other position players that throw for us that with these games we have coming up here, I mean, they're going to get some innings in because, we're not trying to throw our weekend guys during the midweek. So we're going to get some work in, see what we look like on defense. We're going to see if we can pound the strike zone to give us a chance to see what we're going to look like on defense. But, other than that, I like how the pitching staff has come together. If we can keep pounding the zone like that, giving ourselves a chance, I like our chance of making it to the tournament and doing something in the tournament.
Of course, we're speaking right now with Coach Aaron Stevens of Mississippi Valley. Now, Coach, you made a reference back to the New Mexico State game early in the season.
Yes, sir.
It was 39-0.
Yes, sir.
And beyond the obvious, it was a rough day. What do you as a coach learn to teach your team, and how do you feel your players responded to that particular game?
Well, since it was the first game of the year, and man, this has been a crazy spring weather-wise. Heck, we played Jackson State here Sunday, and it was about the temperature said 50, but it was a 20-mile-per-hour north wind, and it was a heck of a lot colder than 50. So but
yes, sir.
That's we usually get that in February and early March. April is usually warmed up by now. So we were dealing with some weather, and it was when we went to New Mexico with all the rain we had gotten. We had only been outside like 4 times for the whole spring, and that was early because we dealt with some cold then, but at least it was dry. And once it started raining in the spring, it just didn't stop. And we actually had our first series rained out. We canceled our first weekend. And then our second game that was supposed to have played against Delta State, we actually flipped the venues because it was just so wet here we couldn't do anything. Now, it was wet there too, but they had a lot better chance of getting their field ready to play than what we had. then after we played Delta State, that's when we went to New Mexico State. We got there, and it's out there in Las Cruces, and my guys from Mississippi, we got about half the team had never flown, so we had to deal with flying and
yes, sir.
keeping everybody together in the airport, getting their nerves off of that and thinking about baseball. And once we got there, got a chance to work out at the field the first day, and then got to game day. They were excited about playing, but they were nervous about playing because we hadn't been outside about 4 days. And we're playing against New Mexico State. It's like, no, look, it's baseball. You have to throw it, catch it, hit it. They have to throw it, catch it, hit it. And we just gave New Mexico State so much credit on what they can do and not concentrating on what we could do. And my starting pitcher didn't get out of the inning. So we started the game out there, and it was rough there. That first game was rough.
No, I can imagine, Coach. I can definitely imagine.
Yes,
and it's one of them deals where you let you guys know this is what happens when you give people more credit, because baseball, you know this, Coach, it's a mental approach. Guy, you put on his pants one leg at a time, just like you do.
One leg at a time. Yes, sir.
If you cut him, he gonna bleed, and guess what? That fastball up and in will send the same message. If it's 84, 74, or 94, it's gonna send the same message. So I do understand exactly what you're speaking of on that. Now, Coach, you made mention of your pitching staff. How many guys do you have on your roster that are pitchers?
That are only pitchers?
Well, I guess how many pitchers do you use?
Or that pitch?
Yeah. Oh no. I have a philosophy. I have a philosophy behind that. Once again, I'm talking about FCS and even Power 5 schools do this. We do not have the luxury of just having a pitcher and pitch, and that's all you do. You've got to be an asset. If all you play is one position, whether it's a pitcher, infielder, outfielder, you become a liability as far as I'm concerned. So if you're not a versatile individual, because you only got, in most cases, I think 25 men that you can put on a roster. Most of those guys are going to be 12. Out of those 12, you got to be able to at least hit. You got to be able to at least play outfield or first base if you're not pitching. I believe if you're a catcher, you should be able to play third base or first base if you're not catching. And you got to have some versatility. I heard you mention that one of your starters is also a catcher. So you're getting the most out of it. And for me, I've coached a little while, Coach, and I tip my hat to you guys, because I don't think I can deal with it, because if the kid, you're not going to tell me what you play. If you're a ball player, you're going to play where I need you to play. Don't tell me what you do and I don't want to hear from your mother nor your father on, well, he's been a second baseman all his life. Well, I have 6 second basemen. I need a shortstop. I need a third baseman. So are you telling me you get an opportunity to play and you're going to pout because you're not in the position that you would prefer? Or you're going to show me that you're a team player, and B, a ball player as well as an athlete that you can get? So what we have to do is learn how to teach athletes the mental approach to baseball on our level. That's just my own opinion.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I definitely feel the same way. And that's part of how we actually try to recruit guys that our position guys. We try to get position guys that also pitch. Now we actually have to have some POs, just to have some POs, or actually just to be able to get through some of our practice drills. All my pitchers were position guys. Some of our drills wouldn't work. So pitching wise, we have 11 total pitchers, 5 are POs. Like I said, all my guys have a decent amount of innings, except for 2 of my guys that are dual guys. That's one of my outfielders, Morgan Lomax, and one of my infielders, Wanda Reeves. And like I said, those guys will get a chance to get some innings in here within these next 2 weeks, because we have a lot of games in a short period of time. And I try not to use my weekend guys through our midweek games, but every now and then you have to, with the amount of guys that we have. But I mean, our total roster is only 18. So we are we're a little shorthanded there, but the guys get a chance to play, and once they get used to, I don't know if used to is even the right way to say it, but they have to buy into the program and then see where they fit in the scheme of things. Because you get guys in, they've been playing since they were 4 and 5 years old. They didn't play this position like you were saying, like, you're a second baseman, been playing second baseman all your life. And like, I have 4 second basemen. Can you play another position? I have 3 shortstop. Can you play another position? No. I have 3 center fielders. Can you play another position? No. Anybody that has a decent arm, we out there throwing. If they didn't come in as a position player and a pitcher, they have a decent arm. We see if we can see what they look like on the mound and try to add them to the staff also.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Coach, I know I can do this all day, man, and I know you're a busy guy. Now, how do you feel as far as pitching repertoire? Do you have pitchers that you have a pitch that you would like for them to try to learn to help their arsenal, or do you just kind of let guys come in and throw what they've been accustomed to throwing?
Well, the main thing is we have to throw the fastball. That's if you throw, 75 or 95. You got to throw the fastball for a strike. If you can't throw the fastball for a strike, the other pitch is not going to make a difference. So if we try to get them used to being able to throw the fastball for a strike, and guys get used to seeing they watch MLB, they watch the ESPN, these guys hitting all these home runs. I said, well, these guys are a different breed, and they're paid to do that. I said, when you put in the work and you have enough talent that you're blessed enough to get drafted, then you're gonna be paid to do that, and that's what you're gonna be working on all the time, and you're gonna get a heck of a lot better at it. But so they get afraid to throw the fastball. They think they have to throw curveballs and sliders, and I'm not too many guys can throw sliders. Well, not too many guys can throw curveballs, I should say. More can throw sliders is a better pitch than the curveball, because they try to throw the curveball and it just kind of sits there.
Yeah, Coach, you had me scratching my head for a second. I'm like, wait a minute, Coach, the average guy can throw a slider.
Yes, sir. I had to change it up. That curveball come out there and just sit there on the table.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man,
what we call a sweet Lucy, it'll be a sweet Lucy, and that joke is on the other side of 330. Now, Coach, I'm kind of old school, as you probably picked up talking about my old baseball sandlot days. I believe that you could have an effective pitching staff with 3 pitches, and I believe fastball, slider, and a changeup.
And that's what we try to throw.
Yes, sir. And
we even throw a BP fastball. So just that there actually takes some work. And once they start seeing it getting guys out, they're more apt to throw it. But when you first start trying to teach them how to throw the BP fastball, they think, well, it's gonna get hit. Yeah, it's not going to get hit hard.
The art of pitching is throwing off the batter's timing. It's throwing off the batter's time. That's Mr. Huffman, who made a living coming out the bullpen for the San Diego Padres through a 77-mile-per-hour changeup.
Yes, sir.
And they knew the changeup was coming, and they still struggled. This man is in the Hall of Fame right now, breaking 80 miles per hour. His fastball was at 84 miles per hour, and that 7 miles makes a difference at 60.6 feet away.
Yes, sir.
It makes all the difference in the world. So it's once again, as you say, building this program, teaching guys the art of baseball, and what I think. I'm a partial because I'm a baseball player. I think baseball players as a whole, it is a different approach than any other sport that we compete in. It is a chess match when others are playing chess, or checkers, I should say.
Checkers.
Yes, sir. Now, what happens in football, if I'm bigger than you, faster than you, stronger than you, 9 times out of 10, we know what the results are going to be.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If in basketball, if I'm taller than you, faster than you, 9 times out of 10, we know what the results are going to be.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Baseball is a neutralizer. You use that mind and position yourself, as you mentioned. You said these guys coming out of high school wanting to blow it past everybody.
Yeah.
You got 8 other guys in position that's waiting
Yes, sir.
to assist you in getting the out. I don't care if I get 2 strikeouts in 10 appearances. If they're not getting runs, I'm winning.
That's it.
I'm winning.
Yes,
So, Coach, you got to give me a promise, man. And we've got to reconvene with this topic and conversation again, man.
I'd love for you to give me a call back anytime.
Yes, sir. Yeah, because I don't want to prolong and delay, because as you see, we support baseball, we support the conference, we support Valley State, and we want everyone to know that when guys are doing it the right way, when guys are putting in the time, and it goes back to say that people, they're on the outside looking in, don't know what those 18 young men, and if you add your coaching staff, what you 22 guys have internalized, and you building relationships that will last years beyond their playing on the field. And I wanted to close with this question that has been very special. Now, you were a long-time assistant in this program, in this system, and what was it for you to finally be released, if you would allow me to say, and yes, going through the growing pains, and you still, and we're not trying to like you've arrived to the top of the mountain, it's all work in progress, but what is it like for you to reflect back from the time that you put in, doing the brunt work, doing the dirty work, and to where you are right now? How do you reflect back on that?
Well, probably about the only thing that has changed is becoming the head coach here probably would be, just paperwork. The responsibility is part of being the head coach. But, I still do the same things now that I did when I was the assistant coach. Like I said, we don't have a field crew. We have to work on our field. We have to put anything we need out there. No, we have to do it. Now our facilities help us out. They cut our grass and stuff like that. But we're trying to get that out of their hands, because we want to try to get it cut when we want it cut instead of when they're able to cut it.
Yes, sir. Don't put me on a list of to-dos. Let's get it done right now. And once again, the old school in me, I believe, and I think it would be a part of bringing guys back to ground level, especially I believe on our conference. You got to be able to know how to keep a scorebook. You've got to be able to know how to do the basic manicuring of a baseball field.
Yes, sir.
That is just an essential, and it brings a deeper appreciation and an adoration for the game that I know for me has changed my life, Coach. And this has been a joy for me to do, and we're definitely going to get some more of these covering. I've been watching you guys, as I say, from the outside looking in, and I'm thankful and grateful that you guys have received and accepted our invitation, and know that you have an open invitation with us anytime here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. And with that being said, Coach, I'm going to give you the final words, thoughts, and comments as we close this segment out.
Well, Doctor, I really appreciate you giving us an opportunity to, express some things about, just how you say you on the outside looking in, you see, but you don't know, So to give us a chance to express how some things are going here in the conference and in Black baseball period, and I really appreciate the opportunity, having a chance to talk with you here, and at any time you'd like for us to talk again, I will be obliged for just give me another chance.
Yes, sir. One more again, as they say, and yes, Coach, sir. I'm going to hold you to that. We didn't harp on what you don't have and what you lack on. That's why you say you make the most of what you got. 4.7 scholarships. that you chop up. And if you know anything about a large family, you just keep cutting till everybody get a bite, and then
everybody get a bite. That's it. That's it.
You know, and take care of things. But Coach, we want to wish you nothing but continued success. He is Coach Aaron Stevens of the Mississippi Valley State Delta Devils of the Eastern Division of the Southwestern Athletic Conference. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. Remember to follow me on Twitter at Radio Guy. Instagram is Radio Guy 22. The website is obn-radio.com. And don't forget, if you're out of tune, out of touch, you can simply dial 605-477-5066 and never miss what's going on. Until the next time, you guys be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.